Those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it. So hold on a second. You just acknowledged that you have piss on your face. And your comeback is the implication that this man may also potentially have urine in his bathtub. But it doesn't matter. At best, that's a piss wash. You already have piss on your face. You lose. So let's start with now, I guess. We'll kind of reverse it. Take it. Reverse it. Nice.
Ooh, like Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
She knows what she was doing.
That wasn't Mary J. Blige.
That's whoever I said it was.
Missy Elliott.
That doesn't.
That doesn't matter. Who's that? It's not even a real person.
Look, everyone take your thoughts and put them in a box to the left. So,
That was Lil' Kim.
Wow.
Noodles.
Sorry.
You got the guy who said Diddy Kong. You think we're going to... There are people who are... I've heard of people who are out of touch with black American culture, but this is ridiculous. Don't push it. Don't push it real good. Now.
That was salt and pepper.
So, the TV talking heads had yesterday, and we covered some of it because we were live. But after that, we said, well, we're going to have to cover this as well. They had their biggest meltdown that I can remember since election 2016.
I told them that if they would do this, that South Carolina would wrap their arms around them and take care of them. I now officially work for you. There is nothing that you could need that we won't make sure that we deliver.
Sorry, right clip. This is the meltdown.
My larger reaction is disappointment. Ultimately, the United States Supreme Court disagreed. Votes for Donald Trump will count, and he is on our ballot.
The big story today is the Supreme Court once again shoving their gavels up the election.
The court's conservatives essentially gave all future insurrectionists the green light to run for it.
Just use that term again.
Office,
and the liberals.
Which means it's up to us, the voters, to stop them, just like we did in 2020. 2024 is the sequel.
They're just making it up. And all the justices were making it up.
Why, though? The Supreme Court handed Trump a second gift in as many weeks on a constitutional technicality.
Today is the day that the trial against Donald Trump for January 6th would have started. And instead, we're talking about this Supreme Court opinion on the 14th Amendment.
He cannot call himself a victim of the legal system now. The legal system worked.
They did not say that January 6th wasn't an insurrection, and they did not say that he didn't engage in insurrection. Instead, the court let him off on a technicality.
They did not explicitly deny the lower court findings that Donald Trump was an insurrectionist. Finding that a state cannot make a call that could have a national impact on a federal election. Of course, unless it's about a woman's right to choose, but let's not get into that.
In this case, you have the Supreme Court lurching too far to the right, making, as David French said, this
Republican
part of the 14th Amendment a dead letter.
It's bad news for Donald Trump, and that is he can't raise money off this anymore. I mean, this was the cleanest of all of
them. What? David French writing an op-ed, and all of these idiots running with, they just made the 14th Amendment a dead letter. The justices, including 3 very liberal justices, made it clear that you're an idiot, that you can't read. I mean that literally. You do not have reading comprehension as one of your tools in the toolbox to go to and grab. Instead, it's partisan. The court did it on a technicality. The court just made it a dead letter. No, the court interpreted the Constitution correctly, regardless of political affiliation. One of the only times they've done that in recent memory, and it pisses you off because it benefits a guy. And by the way, he can't claim that he's a victim of the Justice Department or the judicial system anymore. Have you seen the other charges that are crap? This was just the easy one to go, this should have never happened in the first place. I cannot believe this is the kind of coverage that people
of course
are
you
giving
can.
No, from people that should know better.
Oh,
people
like David French?
Constitutional scholars or legal experts are going, I can't believe it. They just jumped. What are you talking about?
Well, French is a wiener. I preferred him when he was a butler.
It just...
So here's something that's really funny, just because, every now and then you need some fun in your life. On Twitter, now X, I still in my head it's Twitter. Keith Olbermann, we talked about this yesterday when it happened live, but then I don't know that I've ever seen a greater self-own where the man refuses to acknowledge it. So this is what he first X'd out, I guess. He said, "The Supreme Court has betrayed democracy. Its members, including Jackson, Kagan, and Sotomayor, have proved themselves inept at reading comprehension, and collectively the court has shown itself to be corrupt and illegitimate. It must be dissolved." Now, there was a response from Gunther Eagleman, more right-leaning. He said, "Cry more, ellipses, 9-0. Here's the funny part." Keith Olbermann responded, "Those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it." So hold on a second. Let me get this straight. You just and if you have kids, they should leave the room. You just acknowledged that you have piss on your face. And your comeback is the implication that this man may also potentially have urine in his bathtub. But it doesn't matter. At best, that's a piss wash. You already have piss on your face. You lose.
No, it's the bathing liberal tears. He's saying, bathe in my piss tears. Here's some more.
Yes, not since Shooter McGavin confessed to eating pieces of crap for breakfast has anybody self-owned so hard.
Like, he wrote this, and he thought, "Those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. Man, that's great." Wait, you just said you have piss. You just said you have piss face. Oh, by the way, that's also. Are you crying? Did someone pee on your face, or did you cry? Is it pissmata? I have no idea what this is.
He's having a golden shower as it's happening, and
it's like, yes, I have urine on my face, but I'm certain that you do as well. That's weaker than "I am rubber, you are glue," because at least it's like, a bounce off where you're saying it doesn't stick.
Is he saying that he's peeing into the urinal ice?
I don't know.
Dissolving it? Is that when he says it needs to be dissolved?
His comeback is, "I am glue, and it sticks to me, but you could be glue also."
But you are a spray adhesive.
So
what?
Either way, you have a bunch of piss on your face, right? That's correct. Yes. There's no getting around that.
Forget the egg. It's piss.
What? Those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine.
Also, you can't use the plural for urine, I don't think. They're urine?
It is urine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
That's a smaller point in the broader picture.
He's calling the tears urine.
He wrote that reply so angry.
Yeah, I know.
He was so
man.
Like, a comeback would have been, even better would have been, "I'm not crying, you're crying." All right.
It sucks.
"I'm not crying. I bet you have gentlemen pissing on your face." You're like, "Well, I don't know where that came from, but okay."
You know all those fascists that accept bipartisan Supreme Court decisions. Fascist bastard.
Do you think when he's crying over a movie and a woman comes in, he's like, "No, I'm not crying. It's piss."
It's urine.
This is how I urinate. What?
I'm American.
I pee from my eyes. Who doesn't?
That's a good soundbite. Thank you, Gerald.
Does he cry out of his penis? What the hell is happening?
Well, I guess if then we all cry out of our wiener.
I need a tissue.
It's not premature ejaculation. I'm just crying.
I'm just crying.
Very emotional. I'm just happy to see you.
Don't worry, it happens to lots of guys, I've been told. "I don't last long as a lover, but I hear that your passionate lovemaking grows tiresome."
What?
What?
I just don't.
We got to send this to him.
All right. So this brings us back to then, right? They're having a meltdown, but let's go back to then, which shows you the inconsistency. That's why I say the way to win this game is just to not play. They want to talk about the court overstepping its authority. And by the way, they don't even hide the fact that this is well within their constitutional authority. They just don't like that is the case.
So clear.
Whereas back then, they were gloating that the Colorado court obviously ruled in a way that was unconstitutional.
I hope the justices see through his lies and underline that it is within state authority to keep off oath-breaking insurrectionists from our ballot.
Santa came early last night when the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that Donald Trump is disqualified from holding office. You go, Colorado.
Anyone who engages in insurrection is ineligible to run for political office.
For this moment in time, this is a
It's a
huge
bench
dose
warmer
of
in a Quidditch match.
accountability and a punishment for January 6th.
You got to give it up for Colorado. They're the first state to legalize weed and illegalize Trump.
Donald Trump is disqualified from holding the office of president.
Much like Trump supporters
the
today,
readout?
Southern states were just
This
immediately
guy's not
sending
a human being.
unrepentant
He's a pedophile.
secessionists back to Congress like nothing.
That's what I heard.
And it'll be interesting to see what kind of knots the Clarence Thomases of the world tie themselves into to get Donald Trump off of the hook.
Thanks, Michael. What up, Steele? Go back and look at his blog when he was RNC chairman. That's actually something he did.
He did that. By the way, Ketanji, and she's also black.
Yeah.
I think you picked on Clarence Thomas because he's black, and you're like, he's going to tie himself in knots. Did she also tie herself in knots?
Yeah.
Well,
I think you need to answer for that.
I don't think they're big on nuts.
You just called him an Uncle Tom. Okay?
Shut up,
That's
Gerald.
exactly what he was doing.
I have piss on my face.
Another good soundbite.
Yes.
Was it like was he raised with an expression that he didn't understand? Like
maybe he doesn't get the whole pissing, like which one is the bad part, whether it's
dick
on
caught
you.
in the cookie jar. You're like, that's not.
That sounds like a foreigner.
Not a He's mixing metaphors,
I know you are, but I'm a piece of shit. That's not. You're missing.
Actually, no, that nailed it.
People move some muffin, he'll shit on your chest. Like, what?
What are you, Asian?
What?
Weird.
So here's the thing. The biggest. I'm sorry, guys. You can hit the like button if it's okay. Every now and then you don't. I can't. I don't have a chip in my brain for what Keith Olbermann was saying. Oh no.
Ow!
With Keith Olbermann?
Ow!
Is that me? Is that me or is that you?
That's
me?
That's you.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you do realize.
Just now?
No. I'm sure that's from years ago.
He's watching? That's so sweet.
No. True story. After he was fired from MSNBC, I used to host the CPAC Ballroom, and I went out as Keith Olbermann looking for work. Trying to get a contract with Maybelline, and it actually made it into the news. Like, Keith Olbermann is a surprise guest speaker at CPAC. But
Maybe it's Olbermann.
Maybe he's born with it. Perhaps.
Maybe it's some urine.
Perhaps it's piss-based concealer.
All right, quick. Somebody with a Keith Olbermann face with piss tears, go.
Yes.
Is that mascara or urine?
It's urine.
Oh.
It's absolutely urine.
Oh. Good complexion.
You're bad. It's urine.
You're not drinking enough water.
It doesn't make any. The problem with the left. It's really this simple. There's no one around them to just say, "What?"
They don't bully each other.
That's really all it is. No, I remember when Tom Hanks went on Morning Joe. It's in my head right now because I just saw Joe talking about whatever it was that he was saying, and he said, we only entered World War II because of. I think he said racism and jingoism, or ethnocentrism and jingoism. And he said it, and I remember watching it going, huh? No one's questioning that? Like it was so dumb that you're sitting there going, oh, that's right. No one with these people just says, what? Keith Olbermann has gone so long in his life without anyone just saying, that doesn't make sense, that they become so disconnected. And there is a value in that. That's the value of Donald Trump as a bull in a china shop, because there's a disconnect between the swamp, the elites, and you. No one out there, you watching right now, can you imagine when you're razzing any of your friends, just one of them saying, yes, it's urine on my face.
And you would be known as piss face forever.
And you letting them get away with it? They get away with it because no one says that's really dumb.
Hey, Keith, why don't you turn the other cheek for us?
My piss cheek?
Yeah. No, they're both piss cheeks.
No, it's true. All the greats have their calling cards.
So the piss bandits.
Great.
Watch, it's going to be the next R. Kelly video.
Yeah.
So
watch Slider with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.